Hey guys, welcome to the video, and today I'll be reviewing Shantae and the Seven Sirens and talking about what I liked and what I disliked about the game to see if you should play it. Shantae is a Metroidvania game developed by WayForward and is my third Metroidvania game that I've played so far. The game has you play as Shantae, a half genie who has the ability to summon special powers when she dances. The story starts with Shantae and her friends as they go on vacation to visit an island where Shantae and 5 other half-genies are to perform at a festival when suddenly the other genies are kidnapped, only leaving Shantae. Now Shantae is determined to seek out answers as she searches the island, but while doing so, she discovers a sunken city and 7 sirens that threaten the island. Shantae's story is a very simple one, but is also enjoyable and easy to follow. As a newcomer to the series, I liked meeting Shantae and others while also learning more about its mysterious plot. Now, I don't think that you need to play any of the previous Shantae games to understand the Seven Sirens story, but I do feel like you will definitely have a better understanding of the characters like Sky and Bolo, who are Shantae's friends, or the series' main antagonist, Risky Boots, if you have played any of the previous installments. I never found myself lost in the main plot of the Seven Sirens, and I had an enjoyable time watching its mysterious plot unfold, but what had me interested for hours was Shantae's gameplay. When you first start playing Shantae, you will start off in a town and explore different areas of the map. While exploring, you will discover a variety of enemies that require you to learn their attack patterns in order to defeat them. For the most part, I enjoyed encountering enemies in this game, but I wasn't a fan of it in the beginning because Shantae has one limiting attack that can only attack in 2 directions, and she has no other attacks until later in the game. I found this to be a problem when encountering some enemies because they would have an unfair advantage if they set up on a high ledge or on a high ceiling, and I had no way to attack them unless I jumped towards them. This was very frustrating, especially when enemies shot projectiles because I would usually get hit by their attacks. This made the beginning of the game very difficult because you only start off with 3 hearts and limited healing resources. I also didn't like that the game doesn't feature auto-saving and only has save locations spread throughout the map. I feel if Shantae was able to attack in multiple directions or had a ranged attack in the beginning, encountering these enemies wouldn't have been such an issue. Despite this, enemies are a fun time to encounter, and I really liked discovering new enemies and learning of their attack patterns. The more that you progress through the game, you will eventually discover a labyrinth, which is a dungeon. These labyrinths were a lot of fun because they were the most challenging areas in the game, and is where you will rescue one of the missing genies and receive a coin. This coin will allow Shantae to transform into an animal. Each form introduces new ways to progress around the map. The first transformation that you unlock is a newt that allows Shantae to dash quickly and stick to walls. Once you have reached the end of a labyrinth, you will face off against a siren. Sirens are the main boss fight in Shantae, and I really enjoyed fighting them because they introduced new challenging mechanics and required you to use your new transformation. Once you have figured out how to defeat a siren, they will be stunned, leaving them open for you to attack. My biggest issue here is when sirens are stunned, you will repeatedly attack them and have no way of seeing your progress because bosses don't have a health bar. This had me feeling like bosses were giant punching bags that took forever to defeat. After defeating a siren, you will be able to return back to the kidnapped genie, and you will be sent on a mission to retrieve an item called a fusion stone. After you find a fusion stone, you can return back to the genie and borrow their power that will grant Shantae fusion dances. This is where Shantae can belly dance to summon her new fusion power. These dances are awesome because they can be used in a variety of ways. Some dances allow Shantae to affect the environment around her and can be used as a high damaging attack. My favorite dance was the refresh dance because it allowed me to heal Shantae, but it can also be used to affect certain enemies too. Another thing I liked was collecting gems and buying items in the shop. Here, you can stock up on potions, and later you can buy relics. I really liked relics because they were items that give Shantae passive upgrades and new abilities like shooting fireballs or homing rockets. Once I discovered I could buy relics, I instantly had more fun with Shantae's combat because it gave me another way to attack my enemies and also gave me ranged attacks. When using a relic like fireball or homing rockets, it will use up Shantae's magic. I like this because it had me juggling between using my relics and Shantae's fusion dances that both use up her magic. You can also upgrade your fusion abilities and relics by acquiring monster cards. The way that you collect a monster card is by defeating an enemy. After defeating an enemy, it will have a chance to drop a monster card. You can equip up to 3 monster cards to improve your abilities. I thought that monster cards added a great benefit to Shantae's new abilities, but I don't think you get the full potential of them until you've unlocked most of her fusion abilities and relics until later in the game. Another thing I liked while playing Shantae was coming across points of interest like save locations, warp rooms, and other towns. I really liked discovering warp rooms because they were convenient if I needed to warp back to town, or I could warp back to a previously discovered warp location. This always came in handy when I needed to stock up on items for when I was about to face a boss, or for when I needed to explore a once blocked off area. I also liked discovering caves that were hidden around the map that sometimes required you to use Shantae's fusion abilities in order to collect a heart squid. These squids can be used to increase Shantae's health after you've collected 4 of them back at the town. I think that Shantae overall does a good job at rewarding its player for exploring its map and has a lot of cool areas to explore the more that you progress through the game. To conclude this video, I had a good time playing Shantae despite its issues. I found most of Shantae's problems to be at the start of the game, with limited combat options, unfair enemy encounters, and a card system that only truly shines near the end of the game. I think that Shantae is still worth playing if you like Metroidvanias, and I recommend buying it on sale. Anyways guys, that's it for me today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up and let me know down in the comments below, have you played any of the previous Shantae games? Do you recommend any of them? And are you going to play Shantae and the Seven Sirens, or have you played it? How did you enjoy the game? Let me know. And this is going to probably be the last video until after Christmas, so I hope you all have a happy holidays, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.